episode of Unbuttoned. We've got Shane.
Shane, that's it.
How you going, Shane?
I'm well.
A fellow photographer.
Yep.
Band music photography predominantly?
Mainly music photography and
Okay.
on the heavier end of things.
Right.
Yeah.
As in like heavy metal type.
Mostly metal
Yeah.
and then on the heavier side of okay.
Like just there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The heavy metal side of things.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
Oh wow. Well, I used to live in London in a mate's band. I was just shooting photography for fun.
Yeah.
He says, come to our gig and take some photos.
Yeah.
I got no idea what to do, but
Yeah.
I did, and it started from that.
Wow, that's so were you going to like heaps of like gigs and stuff like that?
That was a big sales point for me when I first moved there.
Yeah.
All the bands that never came to Australia, I knew I could see there. Because this is back in '99. This is a long time ago.
Yeah. It's the music industry outside of Australia is like obviously massive.
Yeah.
But like when you go places that you can see bands that don't typically come to Australia, like you want to take that opportunity, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Were you living there?
I went there in '99 for a year and came back 12 years later. So, yeah.
The question is, did you come back married?
With 2 kids and a cat.
And a cat.
Yeah.
Good to know you're a cat person.
Yeah. I recently got a dog 2 years ago, but I am predominantly a cat person.
Yeah. Look, I love all animals. Like I was telling someone the other day, when we lived in Brunei, this is in the 80s.
Yep.
The last house that we had there, we had 23 animals.
23.
Yeah, 12 dogs.
As in pets or?
As in pets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't a farm.
No, yeah. What I meant was I meant strays.
No, they weren't strays. Yeah, because my dad worked in the oil industry, and in the oil industry, obviously, like there's a lot of expats, and I think we were like one of the last families in the company that was living and working in Brunei. And so when everybody would leave, they'd like, oh, well, let's just give them our pets. So we just accumulated all these pets.
What did you do with them when you left?
Well, we had to give them to another family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I always remember we had these 2 dash hounds, so, sausage dogs.
Yep.
And it was one black female and one tan brown male.
Okay.
And 3 Christmases in a row, they had puppies.
Oh, wow.
The first 2 Christmases, we had them. Obviously, they were with us, but then the year after we left, we gave them away, and they had more puppies on Christmas Day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So were you able to give them away or?
Yeah. Totally able to give them away. But I just thought it was like real bizarre. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Here's your Christmas present.
on Christmas Day.
Oh, wow. And how old were you when this happened?
We left Brunei when I was 8.
Well, that would have been a sight to see when you're 8.
Yeah. So at the time, like, the Sultan of Brunei was like the richest man in the world.
Okay.
And like imagine going on like school excursions to these palaces.
Wow. Okay.
Like 1,000-room palaces that had gold on the roof and gold on the ceiling inside. And you just like, like when you're a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid, like you just don't.
It's like fantasy stuff.
Like, what are we doing here type thing. But when I think back now, I'm like, oh, that's fucking pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's full on.
Yeah. Okay, so band, more heavy music type stuff. So you spent 12 years there.
Yeah.
What were you, like, you don't do photography full time. Like, what were you doing work-wise when you were up there?
The company I worked for here,
Yeah.
because I'm a draftsman,
Yeah.
they opened up an office there, and they just said, "Do you want to go?" And I just went, "Yep, cool, let's do it."
Right.
And my favourite band in the world, Iron Maiden, and they're English. And they at that point they hadn't been here for a decade. So I thought, yeah. And when I was there, I think I saw them every year at least.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had a lot of mates in high school that were into like heavy metal and stuff like that. My brother's into heavy metal.
Yep.
I don't know what he listens to, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, totally fun.
So 12 years there, and then you moved back here.
Yep.
And do you find that the music industry here is kind of like changing a little bit? Like,
Melbourne was always really strong, especially in the metal genre.
yeah,
And still is today. Like, there's so much talent in Australia.
yeah,
A lot of them don't get out of Australia, but there's gigs all the time. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
right,
So it is really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you find? What do you find with like the music kind of photography, the band photography side of things? Like, how did you, or why did you choose to like get into that?
Well, I just fell into it, like I said.
Yeah.
And it was like combines two of my favourite things, music and photography.
Yeah,
And when you're shooting in a pit, it's like everything else in the world disappears.
yeah,
You're just totally focused on it.
yeah,
And at the same time, you have zero control over what's happening. Unlike a normal photo shoot, you have no say in anything.
yeah.
So you really got to focus, on getting the shots.
How do you control yourself from like not like shaking to the beat of the music or whatever?
Oh, I do sometimes. Sometimes I'll find myself applauding.
Yeah.
If it's a band I really love, like I shot a band called Pantera early in the year.
Pantera, yeah.
So I was like proper fanboy in the day. So when I was shooting them, I was actually a bit nervous for that shoot. Usually I don't get nervous, but for that I was.
It's this piece around you idolize their music for such a long time, and then you actually get to like take their photos.
Yeah.
It's like
it's pretty special. Yeah.
Like pinch the skin moment, right?
Yep.
You're like, did you think to yourself, how the fuck did I get here?
A little bit. It's definitely a bucket list shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are some other like pretty well known bands that you've shot with?
Slayer would be another bucket list.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're all the older bands.
Yeah.
Because I'm old.
Experience.
Yeah, it's experience.
Knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Wise.
Probably Iron Maiden's the only band really on the list, and they're coming in September, so it probably is the last chance it might happen because they're pretty old.
Are you already organised to shoot with
I've
them?
applied for every city, but you don't know until a week before. You've just got to block out your calendar.
Right. And do you apply through like an agency or
online
just
publication?
Right. Okay.
And so they'll organise through an agency to get a pass so you can go to the photo pit for the first 3 songs. Sometimes you get the band. You can go to bands direct. Sometimes they'll ask you to shoot. For the bigger bands, I think you got to know someone. But,
And how many photographers are like in the pit when you're like there?
Sometimes yourself. Sometimes I was at Alice Cooper recently, and there was 25 photographers.
What?
Which was a bit silly. Yeah. Massive pit though.
How do you? I don't understand. How 25? Like, how do you ensure to get the good shot? Like,
yeah, it's a lot of it's intuition. You've been doing it so long, you just know where to stand with that style of music. I feel what the music's doing and what the lights are doing.
Yeah,
and you just know where to be to get the shot. Really.
Yeah.
If there's a lot of people there, obviously you got to sort of watch out for each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I had Cam on, he was talking about in the pit versus front of house, and like
so that front of house would be at the sound desk.
Yeah.
So I don't like doing that because there's only so many shots you can get because you're stuck at the one angle.
Yeah.
Basically.
And are you? Because he was also saying you're only there for like the first 3 songs.
Generally, yeah.
Generally, right.
Generally, for bigger bands, if you're shooting in a small pub or something or a club, then you can just shoot your first 3 songs and then just go shoot outside the pit.
Yeah.
After that, sometimes they kick you out. Yeah, for the bigger ones. Yeah.
Is that because they're just like arrogant and they don't want people there, or?
I don't know if it's the promoter or the band.
Uh,
Might be a mix of both.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So some of the bigger shows are bigger venues. Like you shoot your first three, and then someone will actually lead you out. Yeah, like get out, or at least make you put your bag away,
Right.
so you don't go taking pictures outside the pit.
Right.
Yeah,
It's kind of a bit weird.
a little bit. Yeah.
Because, like, wouldn't you want, like, people who actually know what they're doing taking photos so that you can get access to them?
Well, you'd think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're the rules, so we have
Yeah.
to stick by them.
Controversial question. What do you shoot with?
Fujifilm.
Hey.
Yeah. A bit of a black sheep in that industry.
Right.
Because everyone's Canon, Nikon, or Sony.
What do you like about the Fujis?
Well, if I go back, I actually was sick of, I used to shoot Canon,
Yeah.
and I was sick of lugging, when I had my kids were little, I was sick of having this massive lens, and because this is back in sort of 2009, 10,
Yeah.
I was just sick of lugging this big camera around and it getting in the way. And then I thought, I need to get something small just for shooting the kids.
Yeah.
So I bought this, I think it was 2015, I bought this little rangefinder Fujifilm, put in your pocket.
Yeah.
And I started taking it to gigs. I wasn't shooting for anyone at this stage. I was just going for fun. And the mirrorless just sold me.
Yeah.
I was like, I can see the exposure as I'm shooting as
The
everything.
mirrorless is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So I tried to shoot both, and then I ended up just ditching the Canon. Yeah. Because Canon and Nikon were still a few years away from even having a mirrorless at that point.
Right. So Fuji came out with the mirrorless before them.
Yeah, it was really Fuji and Sony and Olympus.
Right.
But I just loved all the manual buttons on the Fuji.
Yeah.
And when you're shooting not even non-music stuff, the skin tones Fuji gives, I find are really awesome on people.
Yeah.
So I use all those film sims they've got.
Yeah.
You know, from the old film stock, they all come in loaded in the camera. So I always apply one of those when I shoot.
Yeah. Right.
It's like a good starting point.
Yeah. I think it is always good to work out what you like from a starting point.
Yep.
And then you can always like adjust from there.
Yeah, especially for music.
Yeah.
Because you do have to put a bit of editing in usually.
Yeah. And like your shutter speed would be pretty quick, right?
I try to keep it at 1/500.
Okay.
But I'm always shooting at 6400 ISO as well.
Yeah,
So
just because of the darkness and the lights and...
It depends. If the performers aren't moving too much,
Yeah.
I'll drop it down the shutter speed so I can drop so I can get the ISO down. If I can get the ISO down as well, I will. But if they're moving around, you've got to keep the shutter speed high.
Yeah. And like I'm always interested in what people shoot with, because when people ask me, oh, what's the best camera?
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, like the standard answer is it's the camera that you got with you.
Of course.
But then I say, if you're looking at buying a specific camera, you need to actually go and like have a play with one at a shop.
I'd
work out what you like and what you're going to be using it for. And
I just tell people whatever feels good in the hand.
Yeah.
Because everything's good now.
Yeah.
I don't think you can buy a bad camera now.
Yeah.
Like the technology is really good. If we had the conversation 10 years ago, then we could probably be a bit nitpicky about it. But not now.
Yeah, they're kind of, it's almost like they're kind of, the level playing field is everyone's at the same level.
Yeah, and it's easy to learn now.
Yeah.
Information's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I remember buying my first SLR back in the day and shot on auto for a year, and I'm thinking, why are my pictures still crap? You know, in any, you know, because it's still basically a point and shoot. So I had to buy books.
Oh.
Remember those?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember books.
Yeah, and that's how I had to learn, from books. This is before YouTube and stuff. So.
Yeah. I bought a few books, but I found that my learning style was more trial and error as opposed to like reading something and then putting it into practice.
I think for photography, it's the only way to learn.
Yeah.
You read how to do it, but you won't know how to do it until you've done it a heap of times.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just do and repeat, do and repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just get you to bring the microphone closer to you.
Closer.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is this rinse and repeat, and if you can get more repetition in, like you have more chance of developing yourself, working out new techniques, kind of things like that.
Yeah. Absolutely, only way to learn.
The only reason I shoot with Canon is because my preference, because I had a Sony,
okay,
and then I also had I think I had a Fuji as well. But I stuck with Canon because I really liked the menu system.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and it just in my mind, it just seemed more logical, and it was easier to find things. And then once you invest in glass, then it's kind of like
you're sort of stuck.
What's the point in switching?
There isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you've got good glass, all the cameras are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you say that because not people realize that. They buy a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 body, and then they stick a $50 lens on it, and they're like, "Why are my photos shit?"
Pretty much.
Yeah,
and probably get off auto mode as well.
Yeah,
that's if we're just talking about general population.
Auto mode's okay, but if you really want to kind of get in and really create the art, you got to get into manual.
Absolutely, yeah. If you're just shooting outdoors and for fun with your kids, and whatever, just shoot auto. But I'm so used to shooting manual, I can't let myself do it.
Yeah, yeah. Now you mentioned before you did a boudoir shoot.
I did 3. I've done 3 so far.
Okay, how did you find that?
Oh wow! I was just out at a pub with mates once and gave out a business card and had a phone call saying, "Hey, I want to do a boudoir shoot."
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, better Google how to do that because I've got no idea.
Yeah.
Then I asked my wife. I said, "You okay with me doing this?" And she's like, "Yeah, whatever, no worries."
Yeah. Do you remember what settings you used?
Yeah, we did natural light for the first one.
Yeah.
And I remember taking just primes.
Yeah.
Like a full frame equivalent of a 35 f1.4 and a 85.
Yeah, cool.
1.2, yeah.
And they were pretty happy with how the photos came out?
Yeah. I mean, they were sort of beginners themselves. So it wasn't that wasn't too much pressure.
Yeah.
And it was, there was no money exchange, so that took the pressure off as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. When I actually started doing fashion and fitness, and then I moved into doing boudoir stuff, but more like studio work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I switched to doing natural light, and I just found that if you can master both, you've got the flexibility of doing both and also kind of almost mixing in different techniques.
Yeah, you're talking lighting wise.
Yeah, lighting wise.
Yeah. You should. I think when you're learning, natural light's better to learn on.
Yeah.
Yep. Flashes. When you first start with flash, it seems really complicated. Doesn't behave how you think it might.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, back to books. I had to find a book on how to use speed lights.
Yeah.
And that was like, a real brain fuck.
And just understanding how the technology works as well with a speed light, it's just just does your head in.
Yep.
Like TTL.
When do I use TTL? When do I don't?
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that.
And what the fuck?
Yep. And then you get a picture and it's completely blown out or it's completely dark and like, what happened?
Yeah.
Now I know, but
it
took a lot of practice.
Yeah. At what point did you think to yourself, oh yeah, I understand it now? Like,
I don't think I still 100% understand it. Constantly learning, mate.
That's actually a really good answer.
Yeah.
Because I think if you get to a point where you think you know everything, you actually don't know anything.
That's right. Yeah. Like I had something happen a few weeks ago. I did a wedding, like I didn't have to do the ceremony.
Yeah.
I did like a reception and some hotel shots.
Right.
And they wanted the paparazzi look in the hallway with the bride on the you know, the luggage thing. Mm-hmm. So I just thought, okay, easy, just put the flash on the camera. And because they were sort of moving quick, I changed it to continuous. Yeah. And the flash stopped working. I was like, oh, shit. How do I work that out? And eventually I worked it out.
Yeah.
I didn't find a solution for me to shoot continuous.
Yeah.
I had to go back later after the shoot. But I had to quickly work out, oh, shit.
Yeah. You're a brave man taking on a wedding.
Yeah, that's only my second. It's pretty nerve-wracking, but
it's fucking crazy. There's so much pressure.
You got to wear a lot of hats. Yeah, there is a bit of pressure. Yeah,
like I've never done a wedding, and I don't think I'll ever do a wedding because it's just way too much.
Yeah, I've decided I'd rather do elopements. Yeah, I love shooting the party and the reception.
Yeah,
because that's just fun. That, you know, the more people drink, the more they want pictures, and it's just a good laugh. Yeah.
You can really capture those candid moments.
Yeah,
I reckon.
And that's when I really love using the flash. You use a slow shutter, so you know the background all blurs out.
Yeah,
and you just sort of freezing the action.
Yeah,
yeah.
It is. You mentioned it before. It is that paparazzi kind of look.
Yeah,
you know, the paparazzi old film style shots.
It's becoming popular again.
Yeah, because everything kind of like comes back, right?
It seems to. Yeah. So that was cool. I tried shooting some of the reception without a flash, and I wasn't that happy with the results.
Yeah,
because the ISO was up really high, and yeah.
Did you find that the photos ended up being like quite flat as well?
The ones without flash, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got to flatten, you know, your tone curve to bring out a bit of detail. And when you're shooting, what I find with people, even though like the noise, you know, applications are really good, they make all the faces a bit mushy, and I find I put a bit of grain back into the picture after I've put it through the process, because sometimes it just takes that too much detail out.
Yeah, and you got to have a little bit of detail in there, because it kind of like not everybody wants that.
Too clean.
Yeah, too clean.
Yeah.
Like it's got to have a little bit of like grit in it.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. And that's probably something that I'm assuming that you like doing as a result of like your band stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it is more kind of like gritty and grungy, and there's a lot more, I guess, characteristics that you would capture from a band perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah. Depends what some bands just sort of stand there.
Yeah.
So then you're basically shooting portraits in shit light. Which they can still look really good. But
that's so true.
Yeah, but I prefer when a band's really going for it, hair's flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Sweat.
Yeah.
And I actually prefer shooting the smaller shows because you can get in close with a really wide lens.
Yeah.
And that's the style of live music I prefer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's cool when they play up to you as well. I look down the lens at you, or you get a guitar headstock sticking right down.
That's real like storytelling.
Yeah. It is. It's documentary.
Yeah, like when you can engage with the band or the subject, and they give you that like that look.
Yep.
You know, and it kind of helps to bring that image more to life, as opposed to you being a bystander, like overlooking.
That's right. Sometimes they ignore you totally, and I understand that.
Yeah.
Because they're not there for us; they're there for the crowd.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is cool when you get a bit of I call it a money shot, when they look down at you.
Yeah.
You know, they might stick the finger up or something like that. I shot a band recently called Carcass, and it's sort of like death metal type of band.
Yeah.
But while I was shooting, he looked at my camera and started pulling funny faces, totally out of context of what they were doing. Like really cool shots.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like doing something that's so in juxtaposition to what you're actually doing.
Exactly.
Kind of helps bring stuff out even more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I kind of use that approach with like photography, boudoir, kind of like some of my outdoor stuff to kind of like really provide that contrast of like where they are as opposed to like the subject.
Yep.
And I really enjoy like the storytelling aspect of it. Like what's actually happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Are they blending in with the environment, or are they kind of like sticking out a little bit? And then what's the kind of action? And that's where I guess when I started doing video work, I really kind of looked at, what's the storyline here? Like how am I going to capture the shots or the little clips and then be able to like stitch it all together? I always kind of like worked my way backwards. I was like, I was like, okay, if this is what I'm wanting to do, like how do I stitch them together? And then it's like, what scenes do I need? And like, how do I, do all of that?
You kind of reverse engineering your final shot. Yeah, fair enough.
I found it was easier to do it that way than to try to like do it from the front moving forward.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's the documentary aspect of it.
Yeah.
I probably consider myself a documentary photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what wedding is, and music is somewhat you're documenting something that's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many weddings have you done? You've done like...
I've done two.
Two?
The first one was a mate's wedding.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I was allowed to drink at that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you looking at doing more weddings?
Yeah, but I'm going to be specific about the type.
Okay.
I don't really want to do 10-hour weddings. So
Yeah.
I'd kind of prefer like an elopement or a wedding where people are more focused on them and their friends and the party.
Yeah.
Than,
As
not the
opposed to, like,
ceremony so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could do any church weddings or anything like that. I'd stay away from that. There's plenty of photographers that can cover that. It's just not my bag. Yeah. Maybe if they want to get dressed up as, Star Wars characters or something, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Something weird like that.
Yeah. I don't think that's weird.
No, I don't either. But I wasn't allowed to do it for mine.
New Star Wars or old Star Wars?
Old. I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Mandalorian?
I did. I thought there's some really good episodes, but I also thought there's some pretty shit episodes.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah, I agree. There were some pretty shit episodes.
Yeah. I think we got that one episode that gave us what we wanted from all those new movies that we never got.
Yeah.
The Luke one, obviously.
Yeah.
When he first appeared.
Yeah. Okay, so so the one really good wedding I went to, and I've mentioned this on a previous podcast, they had 3 photographers, 2 videographers, and then 3 people doing live editing.
Live editing at a wedding? Why?
Because so it was a church wedding, and then obviously after the church wedding, then they go and get photos done. And when everyone was seated at the reception, as they were walking in, they were showing this video that the live editors were compiling. Wow. And it was like a goddamn Hollywood like movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like next level. Like everything from like them getting ready to, being at the church.
Use AI to get that together?
No,
or they just did it on the go? Wow.
This was like this was like probably 15 years ago.
There wasn't AI then.
No AI.
Yeah, no. Wow.
They would have paid a bomb for it.
Okay.
But I just thought it's just phenomenal. Like the level that this film production company went to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it make a difference to the wedding? Like, or did
Uh,
people not really care?
oh, look, it's 15 years ago and I'm still talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. So it affected you. Yeah.
So I thought it was amazing because we were kind of like at the ceremony going like, fuck, man, like these photographers and videographers, they're kind of in the way. Like
Oh,
you can't see anything.
That's
Or
probably
like they kept running around, and all this type of stuff. And then when you got to the reception, which was at the Langham, you could see the live editors. They were like editing, and then I don't know. I think it really sparked an interest in me because I was like, okay, like this is.
Were you shooting?
No.
So
no,
pre-photography. Okay.
Yeah. I thought this is like next level shit. Like this, it caught my interest because I was like, I wonder what this thing is going to look like. And then you sit down, and then this, production comes on the screen, and it shows all the pre stuff, and then all the way that they captured, and the moments between the bride and the father, and like all this, and the groom and the groomsman.
Wow,
and
that's
like,
a lot to take in.
Yeah. It was probably about a 10-minute like video.
Yeah. Okay.
And then in the last like 30 seconds, that's when the bride and groom walked in.
Yep.
And it was just kind of like, wow.
Yeah. And they must have got some final product at the end as well.
Yeah. They would have got photos or whatever. I
Yeah.
actually don't think that couple's together anymore. But
maybe there's a market for photographing divorces or something.
well, that's called boudoir.
Yeah.
Because I was getting people coming like they were
that's
getting
hilarious.
married. They want like a gift for their partner, and then I would get the divorce.
Wow.
I'd get people like
Just because they want to give themselves a bit of confidence again.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what are the guys doing then to get not photography then?
Well, the guys would be getting doudoirs. Because there's boudoir and then there's doudoir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Have you shot those?
I've shot one. I got a photo shoot for myself done.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, because I really wanted to connect and relate with all of the emotions that you kind of go through, and then actually
like to get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And I had a model who was taking up photography in Adelaide take my photos, and she did a really awesome job. But it just kind of like made me appreciate, like how someone feels when like they haven't met you, or you're meeting them for the first time, or and then you it's like
a big thing,
getting direction from them, and like you go through all the emotions of being self-conscious and like, oh, I don't know if this works, or stuff like that. But then when I saw the photos afterwards, I was like,
"You happy?
Yeah,
that's awesome."
Yeah.
Okay. That's
so
good.
If you ever get a chance, or you want to be able to relate more to your clients, like, or the people that you shoot with, like, go get some photos done.
Sounds like a good idea.
It's actually boudoir is actually pretty big in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could imagine they could be good fun, especially if you've got a bunch of guys. Yeah. Yeah. What are they called? I've seen one person done a shoot, instead of maternity shoot, it was off the guy, and it was a bunch of blokes with beer bellies. Oh. But they were posing like someone might for a maternity shoot. I can't remember what the word is for it.
Yeah.
Man-ternity or something.
Not sure.
Hilarious pictures. They were just all just standing there with stubbies of beer and stuff, with their no top on.
hang on. That's just like a night out at the man cave.
Pretty much, but with good photos.
What inspires you?
Wow.
In your photography, do you want a drink?
Yeah. Have you got water?
Yeah, sparkling.
Yep. Cheers. Always sparkling.
I know doing a podcast, I get like a dry throat.
Yeah, I got dry lips. Cool. Cheers.
Yeah, what inspires you in your photography, and where do you want to go with it?
Inspiration. I mean, just the people, all my music photographer friends, or I find inspiration from them constantly, because there's so much talent in Melbourne, in Australia.
Yeah,
you don't even have to look overseas at anyone, and I don't really, to be honest.
I think the subject being bands and music
Yep.
is pretty inspiring anyway.
Yeah.
Especially if you really enjoy that style of music. And so I think you would like connect with the songs and think about how to like artistically create an image based on, what you know of the song and the lyrics and things like that. I think there's a whole other depth of level that you go to.
Yeah, because when you take an image, even though it's documentary photography, you're putting a lot of your own artistic sort of stamp on it. So you're recreating what the atmosphere was, not necessarily what you're looking at so much. So we have 20 guys in the pit shooting. We're all going to have 20 different images. That's what's cool about it. Everyone has their own little way of sort of making the image.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And you mentioned like you get inspiration from like other people.
Yep.
So having been in the industry, you obviously like meet all of these other photographers at these gigs.
Yeah.
And like they become like good mates and stuff, right?
Pretty much. It's like a social outing, really. As much as I'm not going to be there to shoot the gig, you catch up with people that you don't usually see them anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's always just in the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always know someone now. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where do you want to take your photography?
I probably want to concentrate on more the non-music stuff now.
Okay.
Yeah, like paid work.
Yeah.
Because music can be paid, but generally if you're shooting for publications, it's not.
Yeah.
It's more like a love thing.
Yeah. It's a passion thing, right?
Yeah, you can get paid work. I do shoot for a couple of venues as well, but you're not making a living off it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love shooting people. So I'd pretty much shoot anything with people at the moment. So I just did a wedding. I'm doing a corporate headshots next week. A friend wants me to do some baby shots for Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Even
Babies are hard.
Well, you can't tell them what to do, really. They're like cats. You ever photograph a cat? You got to like try distract them with stuff. Because I do shelter photography as well.
Right.
Yeah.
For like animals.
Yeah, me and my eldest kid do that.
Wow.
Because they love photography as well. So
Right.
they're learning their chops shooting, rescue cats and dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's great fun. So cats are totally hard.
Yeah, they're totally hard. Especially when you've got one cat that's like super photogenic and he knows it, and then another cat just is like hides or like doesn't like new people.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, how did you get like so two polar opposite like animals?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're still like a person, you got to direct a person, which is, I think, it's totally hard skill to learn in itself. And then trying to direct an animal is totally different, but trying to get the same sort of result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so cool how like you take your did you say your oldest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
And get him like interested in like,
exactly
taking photography up as a hobby and stuff like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, and hopefully a future side hustle for them as well.
Yeah.
Or a full-time job, but at least a side hustle.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's what's interesting is this whole podcast situation that I'm doing now is I'm meeting heaps of people that have multiple aspects in their lives that will either it could just be like a hobby wise, but there's always like this professional side and then a creative side.
Yep.
And it's the varying levels of passion in both. And then even then, sometimes from a creative side, there's like multiple things going on.
Yep.
And it's pretty amazing because I think you end up, if you don't do that, I think you're not accessing both sides of your brain.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's important to access both sides of the brain,
I
so
think,
that you can get some creativity side.
I think if you're not creative, it sort of brings happiness in your life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If I didn't have that, life wouldn't be as good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need it. Because, like, as I said, I'm in the zone when I'm shooting, especially people.
Yeah.
Forget about everything. So it's really, really healthy for you.
It's interesting. In my corporate job, I'm always saying, people are like your number one asset.
Yep.
As opposed to like technology or like, stuff. But then I also say they're also your biggest liability as well.
Fair enough.
Because you're dealing with people, and people, can change on a day-to-day basis. Things can be really good, and then things can be not so great, or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always took my photo shoots, I've got a formula and an approach, but I always took the photo shoot as like a one-off. Like, this is the only time that I'm ever going to be seeing this person.
Yep.
And because of this component of, they could be having a good day, they might not be having a great day, or like, because there's a whole combination of things that go into how you need to approach.
I think people skills is probably number one in that.
Yeah.
In that. I think learning how to shoot is way easier than the people skills.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
I'm finding that. Yeah.
Because at least you can pick up the camera and like you can
read a book about it or a YouTube video. Yeah.
Yeah, but dealing with people is just so hard.
Yeah. I think it's just something you just got to do a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know the corporate shoot I'm doing next week won't be too hard.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I know exactly what they want.
Stock standard. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the boudoir I done was quite difficult. So we basically just saved a lot of images and decided what things we'd try to recreate.
Yeah.
And we did that on the day. That sort of made it easier.
Yeah.
It's quite a humorous shoot because I remember the second time I shot her, she wanted a kitchen fiend.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sitting at the fridge on the floor pouring milk over herself because this is the shot she wanted. And the boyfriend's the other end of the kitchen making Vegemite toast. And it's like such a contrast. It was hilarious.
Hang on. So the boyfriend was in the shoot, and he was.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't in the shoot. He was just in the room.
Oh, he's in the room
making himself toast.
Oh, right.
While she's at the fridge pouring milk on herself.
Yeah, the pouring the. That's fucking messy.
Wasn't my kitchen.
Thank God. And the fact that it's milk, it's like you got to make sure you clean that shit up.
Yeah, because it'll smell otherwise.
Yeah. I think maybe in my last place did I do milk? I think I did like a fruit thing.
Okay.
And then I have done milk like in a shower because I was like, I'm not.
That's easier to clean.
It's easier to clean, and it's it's a wet area that's got all the right protection. You hope, like under the tiles. But yeah, gutsy doing milk in a kitchen.
Do you plan your shoots much when you're doing that, or is it all off the cuff?
No, you plan. Yeah, you have to plan.
Yeah, I did the same. Yeah.
Send some inspiration, like some inspo photos, or like do a mood board or something like that.
Yep.
And then I found that I was getting a lot of like people like saying, "Hey, I want this type of shot."
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd look at the shot. It's my shot. So I'm like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
It's
pretty much what I did because I didn't know what I was doing actually. So that was the only way I was going to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was also getting like photos from like people internationally. So people here were sending me photos of international photographers, and then you'd have to like really sit down and like I guess like kind of train my eye to look for different techniques and try to work stuff out, you know?
Yep.
Like sometimes a photographer would like put all their camera settings and stuff like that, but then try to work out if you can see like little signs where editing has been done or like.
Yeah, I think that's more important. Yeah, not the settings so much because you just work that out yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like whether or not there's like multiple light sources, and you really have to look for like lines and angles and kind of go, okay, like where is this light, or like is there two lights, you know, or three?
Yeah, that's right. What type of light?
Yeah.
I think we used some LEDs at one point as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just for something different. So that's way different to shooting with speed lights, of course.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But really good to have it in your repertoire of like capability, right?
Yep. Because it's easy. It's easier to set up. At
Yeah.
least. Yeah. And also found, do you shoot train models as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've done a couple of models, but I found I didn't learn as much because they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
As far as my posing techniques, my direction.
Yep.
Because they knew what they were doing, I just really had to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you can do, because what I did was you go back and look at the entire set of photos that you've taken.
Yep.
And then work out whether or not you could direct people, like new people, in a way that could allow you to take a similar pose or a similar shot.
Yep. Okay.
So I was constantly like going back and reviewing. And then I think there is something about this having a flow. Having a flow of poses so that you can really understand the sequence of like body movements to get the right pose, to get the right shot.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does a bit. Yeah. I mean, I found instead of shooting the pose, if I'm shooting a movie, actually it was a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Instead of just shooting the final position, because then, everything changes when they stop.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then also like sometimes I'd get sent photos and I'd be like, that pose is really hard to do. We got to work our way up to it from a flexibility point of view.
Yeah, I know. Start simple. Yeah.
Because you can't just like jump straight into something that's quite difficult. You got to like warm up and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Understood.
But yeah, like this flow piece of understanding the poses and what works and what doesn't work is not only just about directing or positioning the subject, it's also about positioning yourself.
Yep. Angles are everything, aren't they?
Yeah. And so I'm 6'2", so I would be jumping up on furniture to get like the shot at 9 foot.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Or I'm on the floor.
Shooting up,
to kind of get that different perspective.
Yep.
And yeah, like it just, because my whole thing was, when I'm 9 foot up, like no one's 9 foot.
No one. But you'll get a different shot.
Yeah, like no one ever sees you at this angle.
No.
And there's that shot and the video, like when they're in the kitchen, I'm actually on the kitchen island bench and my head is touching the roof.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right, to get that shot that's down like that.
Yeah.
And that was always like, I guess it would like blow them away because they'd never seen themselves at that position before,
That's a good way to get a different shot.
Yeah.
So same with music, you're shooting, often some of the stages are over 2 meters high for the bigger shows.
Yeah.
Especially outdoor festivals. And you're shooting up their noses basically.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different view you never see them at. Because when you're standing way back in the crowd, you don't know that the stage is that high. You're getting a whole different view. Yeah.
What software do you use?
Mostly Lightroom.
Okay.
Admittedly, I know stuff all about Photoshop.
Yep.
I remember going to learn it, and then I think a month after I bought the book, Lightroom 1 came out, and I'm like, never looked back. Yeah. Yeah. So that, and also I use edit on the iPad Pro a lot.
Okay.
From Lightroom Mobile with the pen.
Oh.
Yeah. So I usually do all my pics and stuff and basic editing and Lightroom on the desktop.
Yeah.
Then I go straight to the iPad and do everything that requires, retouching with a pen.
Oh.
And it all just syncs and talks to each other.
Yeah.
And I can sit on the couch then and not stuck at a computer.
I really struggled with Lightroom Cloud.
Yeah, did you? What, on the iPad?
No, just understanding the whole concept, how it kind of like worked.
Ah, okay.
It really screwed me over.
I think they're trying to get everyone to do cloud full time, but I still prefer the desktop.
I prefer the desktop, and then I think because cloud's been around for a while.
It has, yeah.
Would you say like 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah,
more, I think.
Yeah. But I remember reading an article probably about 2 years ago where they reviewed they reviewed the different aspects of what Adobe were doing and how there were pros and cons to both.
Mm-hmm.
And what this article was saying was that they were trying to, they came up with cloud because of mobile technology.
Yep.
And mobile technology created this different style of photographer, different style of editor, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, what screwed me was when I tried it, I couldn't do all the things I could do on the desktop.
No, you couldn't, but it's got a lot better.
Yeah.
It still doesn't have everything.
Yeah.
But it's got 90% of what I need for music.
Yeah.
Because with my music, I've done all my own presets now. So I've got one called Shit Red Lighting, because ask any music photographer and there's like, red and blue lights are the worst.
Really?
If it's only red and blue.
Why?
It just kills all the detail in the image and you just can't get anything else out of it.
Right.
Yeah. It's terrible. So usually that's when you see a black and white music image. It was probably a red or blue shot. With me anyway.
The secrets.
Yeah, because that brings all the details back. And you can add more contrast and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I do understand, which is why, like, in like strip clubs or X-rated districts, it's like red light district.
Yeah.
Because it's taking away the wrinkles and, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's making red light makes the skin softer.
But the details are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I understand it from that perspective.
And in the heavier end of music, to go with the theme of like, death metal, they want to go red lights and really low light.
Yeah.
I remember shooting, it was like a sludge metal band, it's like that, real slow style, real heavy. Yeah. And the singer said, can you just turn the lights down a bit? I just pulled my camera away. He said, not going to bother shooting you if you're going to do that. It's like, he's just making my job, impossible.
Yeah, fucking hard.
Yeah. So they didn't get any images, that band.
Right. How did they feel about that?
I don't know. It was for a publication, so
right.
All the other bands got shots, just they didn't. So I don't know.
I think it's interesting. So all of your black and white shots are mainly
the red, blue or red, yeah.
Red or blue.
Yeah, because I prefer colour photography when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Saying that, there are some, some colleagues do black and white only, and they're awesome, no matter what the lighting is. It just depends what you like.
Well, Peter Colson.
I did a workshop of his. Yeah, he's awesome.
I did a workshop as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I did one of his workshops like 7 years ago.
Oh, I think I've done, a 2 year. It was just a 1 day one. It wasn't his week one.
Yeah, I did a it was a portfolio builder.
Yeah, that's the one I did.
yeah.
I just wanted to see how he'd done all his lights, to be honest.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Was it at his studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And
yeah.
how's his like strobe light, his like softbox, the largest softbox in
Australia? There's two, and he's got one of them.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, it's crazy. You
I'm
fit
like-
like 10 of me in it."
I'm like, bro, what's going on here?
Didn't he have it on a crane hanging from his
Yeah,
ceiling?
Yeah.
Like pulley system thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But his whole approach, I was like, is just phenomenal. Like the way that he interacts with people and models, and then, he shoots.
Hasselblad, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's sponsored by Hasselblad.
Ah,
Yeah.
that helps.
Yeah, because he's obviously been doing it for
Yeah.
ages. But he predominantly only shoots black and white.
Yeah.
But then on his Instagram account, he posted a color photo.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Right.
And he said, and the caption was, "Beck made me do it."
Oh, his assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that is.
That's funny.
And he, I remember in his workshop, he was talking about it was around the time where there was a lot of he was disrupting a lot of the photography industry in the AIPP here in Australia. They don't exist anymore.
Was that like this elite sort of thing?
Yeah. And he in his workshop he spoke a little bit about it, not a lot, but I remember thinking, like, this guy's gutsy as he is.
He just does what he wants, I think.
He just does what he wants. Yeah. And yes, there are photography principles, but the AIPP was always like, well, you got to follow the principles. And he was like, why?
Fair enough.
Why do I have to follow the principles if it's my art, if it's my photo? And he's got a Facebook group, and it's interesting when you go on there and you read some of the comments of the photos that he's posted.
Yep.
And I remember there was one where someone was like complaining, or they were asking about the halo over the subject's head, and they were like, you should have edited that out, blah blah blah. And he was like, that's how it came out.
Fair enough.
That was intentional.
Good.
And it was just kind of like, wow, here's a guy who's obviously got the experience.
Yep.
And he's trying to tell you photography is what you want to make of it.
And rules are meant to be broken as well. So.
Yeah. Well, rules are just that. They're just rules.
They're just guidelines.
They're just guidelines that you can follow.
Yeah.
And then he's got a lot of on his YouTube channel, he's got a lot of like videos on there on how he does his shots and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think I was on his Inspire thing for a while,
the
paid, and I learned so much from that.
Yeah.
His lighting's so spot on. I don't think he edits much.
No.
Doesn't need to.
If you can, he's one of the guys who, if you can do everything possible to set the shot up before you press the button, it means after you press the button, you don't have to do anything.
Yep. Good idea. I prefer to work that way if you got the opportunity. Yeah.
I found myself doing more editing because I was lazy and I didn't move furniture around.
Trying to remove stuff. Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, why didn't I just fucking do that? So towards the end, because I've stopped photography now, but towards the end, I would spend more time moving furniture around than actually taking photos.
Yeah, it's all set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I was saying, the portraits I'm doing next week, I'll spend an hour.
Yeah.
7 people will probably take me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember last year, my youngest daughters had a grade 6 school production, so I volunteered to shoot all the production photos for the primary school. and I think I shot 200 kids in one day. It was just a production line. I spent an hour setting up, the screen and the lighting. Mm-hmm. It was just like, pull a funny face, get out. Pull a funny face, get out. It's so quick.
I love how you've done so many different types of things.
It's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to shoot a bit of everything, I think.
Yeah, you definitely have to shoot a little bit of everything because then you work out what you like and what you don't like.
That's right. Yeah. So like things I wouldn't shoot real estate or I'm not really into landscape photography, even though I admire, like, love looking at those images, but it's not really my bag. I've got to have people in the shot.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I got a mate of mine who, at the time last year, we would have like these really long conversations, and then about my photography.
Yep.
And then he'd throw a random comment in there and be like, "Hey, I had a look at this shot. I'm about to send you something, and I'm expecting a particular thing." And then we spend 20 minutes talking about this Japanese garden. And I'm like, okay.
You had enough.
I did not expect that. But he was just fascinated with
his
these
passion.
Yeah, these Japanese gardens and, stuff like that, which is all good. It's totally fine. Yeah. But yeah, the whole landscape stuff. There are some really great photographers out there that love doing that, and the great thing is photography is so vast and wide from a range perspective. Whatever hits your spot,
whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Do.
Yeah.
So music will always be my passion, but I think I just like shooting people in general.
Yeah,
and cats and dogs, obviously.
Any living things,
basically. Yeah,
with a heartbeat.
Preferably. Yeah,
not plants or trees.
Fuck no. Not for me. No.
Have you done a bit of travel with your music photography, or has it just been in Melbourne?
No, just Melbourne. I mean, I've applied to. No, not really.
No.
I've shot some gigs out of Melbourne just for myself.
Yeah,
but I was going to the gig anyway, sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you find that you buy a ticket to the gig and then you apply and then you get a media pass to be in the pit?
If it's really a band I want to see, I'll buy a ticket and then I'll just give it to someone usually.
Yeah.
If I get the media pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what usually happens. But most 80% of the gigs, I'm just going to shoot it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I know, I shot Pantera at Knotfest earlier in the year, but I also went to their show in Adelaide, hoping I might get a media pass. It didn't eventuate, but I still went there because I love the band.
Mm.
So I know Iron Maiden are coming, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
So I've applied to shoot them in every city, and if I have to go to Perth to shoot them, I will. I'll just.
That is commitment.
Yeah, but obviously I've bought both Melbourne tickets, and as a family, we're going to the Adelaide show. We're just going to make a week road trip of it.
Oh.
So that'll be a handy one to shoot.
Yeah. Have you been to Perth before?
Yeah, a few times.
Okay.
Yeah. I've just to visit. I've liked it to visit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different.
I lived there for 9 years.
Oh wow! What age sort of period?
13 to 21.
Yeah, and what? I think if you're into the beach or boating life or whatever, it's really good.
Yeah,
I'm not into either of those. Probably wouldn't be the right place for me.
Yeah, if you love the beach.
Probably got the best beaches, don't they?
Yeah, I would say best beaches in the world.
In Australia.
No, world.
Oh, the world, even.
Yeah, I reckon a world.
Yeah.
But it's just so isolated.
Yeah, true.
It's the most isolated city in the world, and it's the second windiest.
Oh, it's the windiest. I didn't know that.
Second windiest.
Okay.
First windiest is Chicago.
Okay.
And the second windiest is Perth because of the Fremantle doctor that comes in.
Is that something to do with the two oceans meeting?
No,
No?
it's got to do with the plateau of the what's the range?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the landscape.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So there's because there are Perth Hills.
Yep.
And because it's so it's very long, the way that the sun comes down, it creates the high pressure and low pressure. And so 3 o'clock without fail every day.
Oh, every day.
Every day the wind comes.
For how long?
Till 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 3 till 6, maybe even longer.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. And they call it the Fremantle Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it just in Perth, sort of?
Yeah, just in Perth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you come here?
2001.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Melbourne's the longest place I've been in the one place.
I think it almost is. I've been back 10 years.
Yeah.
London's still the longest, but Melbourne's going to be that soon.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so that Peter Colson workshop was just freaking fantastic. I was like, yeah,
we got sidetracked there, didn't we?
I was like, yeah, I want to shoot like him. It's just amazing. But yeah, and then getting into video work and just adding that belt to the repertoire of skills and stuff.
Because his podcast, he doesn't do a podcast. He does that weekly video, which is quite humorous to listen to.
Yeah,
because they have that banter, him and it was Beck, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I do watch that pretty often.
Yeah. And then obviously I got into doing this, I mentioned before, but I got into this because I started doing those model interviews after shoots.
Yep.
And then the model interviews were 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes, and I wanted to do more sit down. And because I had all of the gear already, except for the audio stuff.
The audio would be the hardest, wouldn't it?
Once you know how to use it, it's fine.
It's just the same setup every time.
It's just the same setup every single time. Yeah.
Yep.
And then, and I've mentioned this a number of times, but my editing, I use AI.
Yeah, I've heard you say that.
Yeah.
It's the only way. If I ever did it, it'd be the only way I could.
It's the only way.
Yeah, my attention span's this much. So.
Yeah. I've manually edited twice 2 podcasts, and what takes the AI 32 seconds, I did it in 4.5 hours with no break.
Oh, no, I couldn't do it.
And I'm like, bro, why didn't I fix the settings?
I'm bad enough of culling photographs. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I use that whole rating system on Lightroom. So I'll start off. If I shoot, let's say I shot 2,000 pictures at a show, which would be maybe 3 bands. My first pass, I'd delete at least half. And I physically just get rid of them. And then I'll go do the star system. And then the final 5 stars are the ones the publication gets. So it depends how many. Usually for 3 bands, they'd probably want to see 30 pictures. But if I'm shooting for a venue, they like to see 900 to over 100. 90 to over 100.
90 to 100, right.
Yeah.
Edited?
Yes.
Wow.
But, I've made all my own presets, so that gets me 90% there, once I've picked the images. And then the last 10%'s just, fine details.
So how long does it take for you to do your, reviews and your passing, your proofing?
Oh, geez. I reckon probably 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'm slower than other people at it just because of the way I do it. But that's just how I operate,
Yeah. I was using AI to do my proofing.
Oh, really? What program's that?
Aftershoot.
Aftershoot. I should have to give that a go.
Definitely look into it. So what it does is, and there's basically 3 things that it looks for, and within those 3 things, there's a scale. So you can weaken that particular aspect, or you can make it really strong.
Oh, so you select the parameters?
Yeah, you select the parameters.
Okay.
And so it'll look for blurred photos.
Yep.
eyes closed,
Okay.
and duplicates.
Yeah, duplicates is the big one.
And so it'll look through all of them based on the parameters that you.
But what if you got 10 very similar? Are they duplicates?
So in the duplicates, like characteristic, you can, if you have it like really weak on the scale, then it may only, of the 10, it'll look at how closely related they are, and it may show you like 5 photos, or it'll group it'll group the 10 into 2 lots of 5.
Yep.
And go, these are the duplicates. But if you have it really strong, it'll say, yep, like all 10 is the same.
Okay.
And so how it comes out with the output is it creates a EXIF file that goes into Lightroom, and again, you set the parameters on a starring and color system. So like 3 stars for me would be all the duplicates.
Yep.
4 stars are like pretty good, and then 5 stars are like the best of the best.
Yeah, that's how I pretty much do it.
Yeah.
I actually delete anything under 4 stars.
Yeah.
After shoots now.
Yeah.
I know earlier in the year I deleted like 20,000 images.
Yeah.
Because like, why do I keep these? I'm never going to look at them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I make it a point every shoot.
Yeah.
Anything under 4 stars goes in the trash straight away. Yeah, I don't even hang on to them.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would go through and review after a time period, and they'd be like, and look that I found the AI, like they're always coming up with updates to make things better. Sometimes it would get it wrong. So I worked a system. So I used the AI to do stars, and then I did a review of what the AI showed me, and I used the color system.
Okay.
So I would always go with so when I first start, it's 3 stars are red, 4 stars are yellow, and 5 stars are green, right? And then I'd look through the reds, and I'd go, oh, I like that one, or I like that one, or I like that one, and I'd change that to 5 stars.
Oh, you override what it told you.
Yeah, I override. But because I had the color rating there, I knew what the AI gave it to begin with.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So then I'd go through the 4 stars, do the exact same thing. And then I'd look at all of the 5 stars, because I've readjusted the 3s and the 4s to be 5, but I can see which
what it used to be.
Yeah, what I can see the color. So if there was a 5 star with a red, I knew the AI said that was a 3. And then I'd go and I'd look, okay.
Does it learn that you've overwritten what it said?
It doesn't, no.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
Oh, that's, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think it'd be worth if I did it. I'll let it do a shoot, but I'll do the same shoot separately and just see what results we get maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if we pick the same.
Yeah. You could probably do that, and go, okay, well, did it pick the same thing that I would have picked?
Yeah.
Or was it better?
Oh, essentially that's what you just said about the color system.
Yeah. And yeah, so I found that I was only really having to, instead of looking through 1,000 photos, I was only looking through like 100.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That'd be a time saver, because I reckon 80% of me is culling.
Yeah.
It's only 20% editing for me.
Yeah.
I don't probably edit as much as other people. Some people really like to get into it.
Yeah.
But not me.
Yeah. Having presets definitely helps.
Yeah. And I've just created them over time.
Yeah.
All the different lighting scenarios or coloured lights. Some coloured lights, you use the colour wheel to add blue just to counter a different colour to make it pop. Because sometimes there's light there you can't see because the camera doesn't see it, but it's there.
Yeah.
You just got to bring it back out.
Yeah.
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 Especially live music.
I found that I was using so I used Lightroom, but then only in some shots. I take across to Photoshop, and when I started using Photoshop, it was like 45 minutes a photo.
Oh, wow.
That was 11 years ago.
Okay, and now?
Less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes is the max I'd spend on a picture, I think. If I had to spend more, I'll just bin it. I just can't be bothered. I mean, sometimes I only use Photoshop to remove stuff.
Yeah.
Because Lightroom does a pretty good job now, but not always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever do any composite stuff in Lightroom?
Nah.
No?
Composite stuff.
Yeah.
Lightroom.
Where you like merge parts of images together?
I didn't even know you could.
Yeah, apparently you can do that.
Okay.
You can do that in Lightroom.
Since when? Wow.
I don't know since when, but I know
I'm
my
going to Google that.
photographer mate Jordan does it.
Wow, composite. I thought you needed Photoshop for that sort of stuff. Okay.
Apparently not.
I need to pay more attention.
Don't read a book about that because it's
No.
probably online.
I learn better online anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a visual person. Like videos and stuff. It's so easy to learn anything now.
Oh.
Who needs school?
If you... I get annoyed when I hear people say, I don't know how to do that. Well...
What's stopping you?
Yeah. Like you can basically learn how to do anything on YouTube.
Pretty much.
Someone's made a video of that already.
Yeah.
You just need to go find it.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree. You can
You
learn
know,
anything.
Everything from putting together that IKEA furniture right through to how to cook a dish from Africa.
It's all there. Someone had more time than you to put that together.
Yeah, like the level of effort that they had to go through to actually do it. Like sometimes I have ideas and I'm like, nah, that's too hard. Why did I think of that idea? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Nah, absolutely.
What are your plans for the rest of 2024?
Yeah, just to do more photography, more than non-music. So the more the paid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try it. I think the hardest thing is getting yourself out there and known.
Yeah.
Which is probably what I'm struggling with at the moment. So everything's been word of mouth so far.
That's good.
Yeah, which probably is the best way in the long run.
Yeah.
I mean, even my day job, most jobs I've ever got are from word of mouth as well. Yeah.
I did no marketing. So it was just all word of mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I would go through periods of just like posting. Post. And like, I think someone said to me, they're like, where do you find the time to like post as much as you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
And they're like, there's like 10 different photos in one day. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Because you never know what the algorithm's doing as well. You
Yeah.
don't know who it's going to. Do you ever pay for sponsored?
Nah.
Yeah, I did it once recently. And I think just for 3 days. And I think I got like 6 followers. And I was like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, actually, I paid for like Google, some stuff on Google.
Yeah, this is Insta.
Yeah. And I think I might have done it like once or twice on Insta, but then I don't know, just because it's like connected with Facebook and like you got to have this account. Like setting it up is just like,
yeah,
you need a.
I mean, you're not buying followers; you're just paying to get your post boosted.
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And whether they follow you or look at your post, you still don't know, do you?
Yeah. But
it's a scam, isn't it?
There's a entrepreneur that I follow, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's big on like the whole social media strategy piece and stuff. One of the things he said a couple of years ago was like people are focusing a lot on fitting in with the algorithm.
Okay.
When in actual fact, you need to flip that on its head and you need to teach the algorithm.
Right. How do you do that?
By posting.
Just by posting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of stuff that came out about, you should just like, in order to get the most engagement, you should like post once a day. Just once.
Oh, and at certain times and all that.
Yeah, at a certain time, like for your audience, blah, blah, blah.
I just post when I have time and
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Just post when you have time, or like post when you like a particular image that you've done some editing on, or and so he was basically saying, if you've got a post, you should post it, and if it means that you post 10 times a day, you post 10 times a day.
Okay.
How do you get more? Because it's about attention.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get more attention?
Well, you got to post more, I guess.
You got to post more.
Yeah.
So if you're posting more, then there's more eyeballs on your photos, which means people will either talk about you more, or, like you have a greater opportunity for them to get in contact with you.
Yep.
If they're seeing more of your photos.
Right? Is that how yours grew then?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So I was just like post, and then if I'm shooting, or if I got like 4 shoots in one day, obviously I'm not posting then. So then like you go silent, right?
Yep.
But then like the next couple of days, I'm like post. Yeah.
Okay. There's another setting I heard. Just another photographer told me at a shoot once. There's a setting in Insta where you write in a description for the photo for blind people.
Oh yeah, alternative text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried it, but he
Yeah.
reckons that probably would help boost.
Yeah, there was some stuff on like how to increase engagement and stuff like that, and they basically were like, post as much as you can, write a really good caption, tag as many people as you can.
Yep.
Use the alternative text. So when you post, it's in the advanced section.
Yeah.
And then you basically just copy your caption and put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there was that thing about using hashtags and not using hashtags.
I can't be bothered using too many. Yeah.
Well, I find if you use hashtags, the bots get you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, half my followers are probably bots. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, the bots get you, and they start sending you messages like, "Oh, hey, great photo." The English is slightly off. We'd love to
have you on board and promote our product.
Yeah,
and you got 0 followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was the piece around Insta stories and adding hashtags or text behind the image, or like off screen.
Oh. Okay.
Because then the algorithm's saying that there's that text in the image, even though it looks to everybody else that you can't see it.
I can't see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Never thought of that.
So
okay.
it kind of like pushes that out even more.
Okay. Yeah, I know my friend said regarding the descriptive text for people that can't see, he said you should write in what the photo is, like the person's playing guitar and there's red lighting and their hair's this colour, like really. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of effort though, it seems like.
Yeah, which is why I was like, I'll just copy the caption.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's AI that can describe it for you. And
how does a blind person look at Instagram?
I don't know, but they're going for hearing the description, I guess.
I mean, 1, you shouldn't discriminate. 2, they've obviously maybe there's an app that they look at and then it like reads out
possibly
that alternative text.
But I mean, I've been going to a lot of gigs on the other side. They've had sign language people for people that can't hear well. And I remember shooting a gig a while ago, and it was really on the heavier end. And they're sign languaging, what these death metal bands are singing. And I was having a chat to her, and she goes, "Yeah, I've got to learn all the lyrics to all the songs of all the bands that are playing."
Wow!
So, and convert it all to sign language, and they're not just doing the lyrics. They're really getting into the song as well, and sort of describing the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. Can't remember what you call those people that do that.
There's a term.
It starts with A. I just can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I just thought it was amazing. Yeah.
It's one thing that I love about the creative side of things is you're only limited by your own barriers that you put in your own head.
Yep.
Like, if you think you can't do it, then you can't do it. But if you think you can, you're going to work it out.
We're our worst enemies sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that when I'm doing non-music stuff still. Like,
yeah.
Oh, should I do it or it was like, just do it.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to know. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's definitely, like, I get that sometimes it's really hard. Like you mentioned earlier on about, there are some creative people and there aren't creative people, but it's kind of like,
I think everyone's got a bit of creativity.
Someone's got they've got a little. I think everybody has a creative side. It's just whether or not they've put stuff into practice or they acknowledge it or they develop it,
Yep.
Like some people are right into sport, which is great. Like there is an element of being creative in sport, but the arts is just a whole nother level, right?
Yeah, I think often people are one or the other, but a lot of people are both as well. So I think that's why I like having the day job as well.
Yeah,
and having the photo as more of a side hustle.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't like photography if it was a full-time job. I don't know. Like maybe it would take too much effort out of it or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I haven't done it.
When I was shooting like heaps, I did find that I would have to make sure that I like planned a break. Because like I get into the zone to like doing stuff, but if I did that too many times, it's like, my body can't handle it. Like I just need to like.
You don't want to burn out. Yeah, because that'll happen.
Because once you burn out,
even if you shoot too many music gigs, because it's all the stuff afterwards you've got to do. Yeah, that can burn you out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How do you manage like not getting burnout?
I'm still trying to work it out. I probably aren't shooting quite as much music as I was,
right?
And that's probably helping because shooting lots of music stopped me doing the other photography.
Yeah.
So I've had to sort of say, I'm going to just pull back a little bit.
Having a bit of variety helps.
Yes.
Keep the motivation up in all the other aspects of photography.
Yeah. And I'm still finding out exactly what I want to say no to and yes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
And you don't do that until you do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you don't work it out until you like experience, the doing, and then you'll be like, oh man, like I should have done that.
Yeah.
I should have moved that furniture.
Yeah. Yeah, try do it in the shot if you can.
I get so annoyed at myself. I'm like, what is fucking going on?
Because I love the shooting way more than the editing. Like, I love being.
Well, that's like when I was doing when I started doing the interviews with the shoots, with the models after the shoots. I like look at the edits, look at the footage, right? And I'm like, why the fuck are you fucking wearing a yellow t-shirt?
For yourself?
Yeah, for myself. And I'm
it's a pretty bright colour to have on, isn't it?
You are never to wear a yellow t-shirt ever again.
Because there's no taking someone's eyes off that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I'd look at my hair. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with your hair? Actually, I posted a podcast clip the other day. Like I sent it to someone, and I was like, "Look at my hair; it looks like a fucking rat."
Yeah, I don't know what that's like. Been a while.
It seems like it has been a while.
Yeah, but I used to have long hair before this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
How long?
Oh God.
Sorry, how long ago?
I think I shaved it when I was about 25.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only like 3 years ago.
No, I'm pretty sure we did it. We did it in when I was in London, and we'd all had a fair few beers. And I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I handed the clippers to a friend and said, "Let's do it now." There is a video of it somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. But now it felt liberating actually.
And you've never looked back.
No.
I do need to get my hair cut. I'm tossing up going back to the original, which is the photo that's on my profile, or like
Was that short?
yeah,
Okay.
or like just having longer hair but like to the shoulders type thing. I'm like, this is COVID hair.
Oh, it's a bit of maintenance involved to look after it.
Yeah, I've only just realised you actually need to brush it.
Then you just tie it back and leave it.
Yeah, I just like tie
Yeah.
it back. I'm like, I mean, I actually shaved this off. I'm trying to get this back to what it was like at the start of the year because it was like down. It was like down here.
Okay.
I shaved it off for my daughter on her birthday.
She asked you to do it?
Yeah, she asked me to do it, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Oh, no, I'm not allowed to shave mine off. Yeah, they like me with a beard.
Really?
Yeah. So I've already been told that. I prefer me with the beard as well. But yeah.
I think it's my chiropractor, when I shaved it off, he was like, my God, you look 10 years younger. And I'm like, don't say that. No. This is much more distinguished. And like, you know, I'm going for the whole Japanese samurai look.
Fair enough.
Because
so you got a bit more length to get there.
Yeah, when I shaved it off, the comments I got were, "No, the samurai's gone. Where's he gone?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, he's coming back."
Yeah, I think last time I done it was 5 years ago, and I done it for Movember.
Yeah.
So I grew a moustache,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like, yeah, I grew up back, Dad.
I used to be a massive Movember like supporter. Like when they first started, this was when I worked in banking and finance.
Yep.
And yeah, we raised so much money at that organisation, and the founders of Movember like absolutely loved us because we ran like this campaign across all of the branches. And I think that year, so we formed like a working group, and we had like 3 or 4 people. And then we organised a competition of like Man of Movember, but like within the bank, and had like the board members like vote and all this type of stuff.
Who had the best mo?
Yeah. And we got like heaps of people like submit, you know, photos at the end of the month. We raised, I'm pretty sure it was like 384,000.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It is a bank, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. It is a bank, and they got a lot of, you know, branches all across Australia. That was a while ago now, but yeah, like I was right into, and like you go to the parties like afterwards, and it's
Fair enough.
slightly mental. Well, Shane, thanks so much for
No
coming
worries,
along.
man. Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
How can people find you?
Just Instagram's the best.
Yeah,
Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn.
Yep.
Okay,
That's the one.
fantastic. I'll have that like come up.
Yeah, cool, man. No worries.
So people can find you, and I'm excited to see like other styles of photos come out.
Yeah, I need to do a website.
Yeah,
That's my number one thing to do. When
Yeah.
you asked. Yeah. Just trying to find time for it.
yeah. It's that's the key. You got to find time.
You have to make it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because there'll never be time otherwise.
yeah. That's exactly right.
Cool.
Yeah, and then like your more boudoir stuff, and then more band stuff, and weddings and stuff like that.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for listening in, and hopefully you will hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. See ya.
Cool.